Welcome to Community Hotlines, MetroEast production. My name is Leslie Garth, and good day, ladies. Today I have Community Energy Projects. I have Sherry Smith and Cass Cole. And welcome, ladies. So, Sherry, tell me what you do.
So I'm the Community Engagement Manager at CEP, and I have been there for a little over 8 years, actually. So I do the outreach, and I oversee the education department and the volunteer program.
Okay, and Cassie?
I'm the weatherization workshop coordinator. So I schedule and facilitate about 50 basic DIY home weatherization workshops a year.
Okay, how long have you been there?
I've been there about a year.
Okay, so Sherry, tell me a little bit about this. I know a little bit to be dangerous, but not enough. so enlighten me.
All right, well, as Cass said, we have a basic weatherization workshop. It teaches people how to stop drafts in their home. And we've been teaching that class for 35 years. And what we had was a lot of questions from people asking, well, do you teach about insulation? Mm-hmm. And our answer was always no. So it'd been on our wish list for a long time, and we decided to start an insulation workshop. So we are teaching our very first do-it-yourself insulation classes starting on the 18th of October.
So, insulating your own home. I'm a homeowner, and be honest with you, I installed my first garbage disposal last week.
Oh, very nice.
So cha-ching for the
Yeah,
women, you
yeah.
know. So and believe it or not, I got a lot of friends who happen to be female. Is this something that we could do on our own, or will we have to have a little bit of help with that?
Well, actually, the majority of our participants are women for the 101 class that we're teaching, and we're really hoping to attract a lot of women to the insulation workshop as well. These are not difficult concepts, but when you're starting from zero and you don't really know what's going on above your ceiling, it can be really intimidating. What we found was that there are actually many women that I knew personally, but also would come across in the field that wanted to have their attic insulated, even to pay for it, but didn't understand what the audit said. They would get this report, and they didn't understand what's a baffle, what's a soffit, what's a drop soffit, what. No one understands that, right?
Look, I got the blank look here.
Right? And then you're, expected to spend, a significant amount of money on a project that, you were trained by a salesperson, by a contractor, by somebody who knows the business really well. And as women, we've all been a little talked down to, I'm sure, in a lot of these male-oriented industries. And so this is also a tool for women to be empowered by really understanding the concepts of weatherization, the equipment that's used, and what's actually the terms for what's happening above your ceiling. And, they can learn it in a few hours.
Really? Oh, so that's something you set up, Cass. Am I correct? You set up the workshops?
Well, Sherry and I have been working on developing it with a couple of outside partners actually since I think the spring. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of work goes into developing a new workshop. We've been working with a contractor at Balanced Energy Solutions, which is a building performance company in Portland. And they've been giving us a lot of expertise. We've also been working with Energy Trust, which is the funder of the pilot program, and they've also been giving us some expertise. So we've been working together to write a manual, like a technical manual that people can, not really technical, but step-by-step manual that people can take home after the workshop, kind of review everything that was covered, as well as developing the workshop itself, and then doing outreach, talking to host sites that we've done other workshops at, calling them up, do you want to do this other workshop, or your family's interested in this? Just developing it and setting it up in the community.
Okay, so nothing against men. I think this is great. I think everybody can learn, but I am a female homeowner, so I'm a little more interested, and so tell me a little bit about what this looks like, what kind of animal this is, because when I did my garbage disposal, of course I had another friend there, but I took ownership of it. So is this, it sounds like you're working with other partners, so that means that it's one person just can't do it, the homeowner just can't do it themselves.
Oh, no. So,
Oh, no, go, you guys go for
part
it.
of it, what's actually kind of great is Greg with Balanced Energy Solutions has had to teach us how to weatherize an attic. And so we have a really good idea about what kinds of questions people are going to be asking because we've asked those questions.
Right.
And we had to learn from scratch. And so where Community Energy Project, our expertise is how do we take technical information and make it truly accessible to the average person? And that's really our forte. And we've been working with BES to help provide that information, and then Energy Trust of Oregon is vetting it. So we want to make sure that we have every single thing correct. We want to make sure that people can get energy incentives to help reduce the cost of the program so they can actually get cash incentives if they do this work correctly. And so that's where we're really bringing in the partners, is to make sure that this is a top-notch workshop and people aren't going to be putting themselves in danger by creating fire hazards or something like that on accident.
Okay, so the workshop is, how long is the workshop?
So the workshop, we're thinking right now, is about 2.5 hours. So it covers basically every step from trying to figure out whether you even want to insulate to actually getting cash incentives from Energy Trust to reimburse the cost of the project you just did. So it starts with teaching people how to do an energy audit, so actually inspecting the inside and outside of the home so you actually know what will be in the attic and what you'll encounter. Talking about how to build a supply list and actually where to get those supplies and how much they cost, as well as how to know if you have a really serious safety hazard that you actually shouldn't be up there insulating if it's there. Like vermiculite, for instance. A lot of people have that in their homes. We talk about
what is that?
Vermiculite is an older type of insulation that can contain asbestos.
Ooh.
So just one example of like a safety hazard that if you see it up there, just know that you're going to need to get some more help getting that out before you can actually insulate. And then also walking people through how to actually prep the attic, because there's a lot of prep work that goes into making sure that you can actually even put the insulation in there, like air sealing, ventilating, a few different things. Which is where a lot of people get stuck, because a lot of people will go to insulate the attic themselves and then they try to get a cash reimbursement from an agency like Energy Trust of Oregon, which is one of our partners, and then they didn't do any of the prep work, so they can't get any money and they've actually done it wrong. So we walk them through every step of prepping the attic, which is not that hard when you know how to do it.
Right.
And then at the end, can we talk about how to actually go out and get the insulation, how to rent the machine, and then how to install it yourself or with a friend. And then the final part is how to apply for those incentives so that it can be in a more affordable project.
So when are you guys going to open this up to the public, and how do people get connected? Because I actually kind of thinking I might be interested in this myself.
Good candidate.
Because I'm trying to do it myself. I'm always trying to save a few bucks. Kind of cheap, my friends call me, unfortunately. But I'm not the only one. I love that. Wise with the money.
Wise with
yes,
money.
That's me.
And this is something that, so the first workshop is October 18th, which is a Saturday, from 10 in the morning till 1 o'clock or so. The first workshop's actually going to be taught by the person from Balanced Energy Solutions, and he's going to bring his truck full of equipment, so you have a chance to really explore and spend some time actually looking at the tools. It's going to be lots of hands-on props. We're going to teach people how to use a foam gun, it's just it's going to be lots of fun.
Well, you got my interest. Okay, so
Yeah.
now how do I sign up for that?
Just go to our website. It's communityenergyproject.org. And if you click on the calendar, you'll see opportunities to register for the class as well as when all of the workshops are. We are hoping to have a workshop in Gresham. So if any of your viewers would like to actually have us come to their location and give a workshop, that might be something we can do. We'd love to come further out east. Usually we're stuck in the city of Portland.
So how many people would have to sign up to get it out here in Gresham?
Not that many. I think if you had 5 people who are interested, that'd be worth it to us.
Okay, and then you just need a facility and
Yep, and we
5
bring
people
everything else.
and viewers, they said they only need 5 people and a facility. So I think we could work this out to get it out here in Gresham.
Yeah.
Actually, I was looking at the address, Northeast Alberta. It'd be worth a trip to me to find out, to learn more about it, because I think this is something valuable for everyone as a homeowner. So, and now, Is there anything else that you offer? Because I know in the past there were some other projects and opportunities people can learn from this organization.
We also teach lead poisoning prevention workshops as well, which is great to know if you're living in an older home. We talk about how to live in that home and avoid lead exposure. Any house before 1978, but especially older than 1950, is pretty likely to have lead in it. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you like to replace your own windows, do a little sanding, do a little lead paint disturbing, we actually teach classes on how to do that in a safe way. Lead can cause brain injury in children 6 and under, and women should really especially avoid it, as well as especially if they're pregnant or maybe pregnant in the future. But it's pretty nasty. It's a good idea to stay away from it regardless of your age.
But you teach people to do them themselves. They don't have to hire out anymore. I mean, 'cause I'm old school, and I always thought that whenever you dealt with lead poison or lead, that you had to hire out to have that removed. Is that not the case anymore?
It really depends on the size of the project. You know, if you're replacing your own windows, you can handle, you know, lead dust containment and working wet. If you're doing a huge like demolition project, you probably want to bring in the pros and make sure that they're renovation renovation, repair, and painting certified to do work lead safe. But you can do small projects yourself. It's all about working wet and containing your dust.
All right. So do you guys teach people how to put in windows?
Nope.
Okay. I just thought I would ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next year.
Next
maybe.
year. Okay. Well, we got to have you back for that then.
All right.
And then, so Cass, when you're developing the workshops and so forth, you looking for anything in particular from you? What are you trying to get to the clients? Your main objective. I mean, we want them to be able to do it themselves, but knowledge.
Yeah, so one kind of focus or goal that's guiding the project, I mentioned before with Energy Trust, they have this cash incentive program where they can, if you do a major energy upgrade and you meet it to their standards, you can potentially get some of that project reimbursed. And so one goal that we're focusing a lot of it towards is making sure that people know how to do the project up to that standard so that they can get that reimbursement. Because like I said before, a lot of people, they're like, oh, I hear that I can get money for this project, so I'm just going to go out and do it. I'm going to go buy some insulation and throw it in there. And then they call up Energy Trust and they realize that they didn't air seal, they didn't ventilate all their ducts, they didn't this and this and this. They have asbestos. So it's kind of oriented towards making sure that people, cross all their T's, dot all their I's, so that they do the project well and, have a real good R value in their attic, and also they can potentially get some of that money back.
Okay. So, sound like you guys got some good things going on. I really like to encourage some people to get together so we can bring you out east. I think we need you. And so, last thoughts. If you had to tell someone this is the reason why you need to do it, what would you say?
I would say that especially if you own your own home, I became a first-time homeowner myself last year, the more you know about how your home works, the better off you're going to be.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And I would say that insulating your attic is actually one of the best first things you can do when you're going to weatherizing a home. It's actually can make some of the biggest difference of anything that you do in your home. Like you mentioned, installing windows. Insulating an attic makes a huge difference in the comfort of the home and also how much money you're going to spend on energy bills. So it's a great project to do if you're looking for something to make your home more efficient.
Oh, I have to ask one question, okay? I probably shouldn't, but it's on a personal note. But how long does it take? If I wanted to do it, I got 1,200 square feet. Could I do that in a day? Because I'm only a one-day person. If I can't do it in a day, I don't want to be bothered.
It'd be a long day, probably. Depending on how much you have to have done. If, say, your bathroom fan comes up and just all that moist air from your shower is just being released into your attic and it's not being vented out through your roof, that's going to take more work. So if your house has had, people do shoddy jobs before, you're going to have to fix some of that, and that's going to take more time. If people properly ventilated your kitchen exhaust and your bathroom exhaust, and if they've done some air sealing in the past, it's going to be less time. So it's going to depend on your attic.
Sounds like that would require a couple of friends.
Yes.
I guess, like I said, one day, that's the only reason why I could do the garbage disposal, because it was one day and I was done. So I'm excited. I think this is a worthwhile project. I'm glad you brought it to our attention. And remember that insulating your home will save you money. And I'm thinking the way you're shaking your head, quite a bit. It can make a huge difference.
And it'll keep your home cooler in the summer as well. A thermos keeps your drink hot or cold. It's the same way. You're insulating your home. So I know after I had insulation done, only using fans, no air conditioner, it'd be 95 outside. Inside my house, it'd be 72.
Great.
With no AC.
So,
big difference.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you, Sherry and Cass. With that in mind, so keep in mind, this workshop is coming up on October 18th. I think it's worthwhile, even though it's in Northeast Portland. We can get them out here. If you got five or people more interested, definitely give them a call, email, text. There's so many devices now that you can communicate to people. So once again, ladies, thank you so much, and have a very pleasant day.
Thank you.
Thank you.